one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Whereas you provided the notice provisions of the Sunshine Law by adopting prior to January 10th of this year, a resolution prescribing the date for final communications of all regular meetings of the commission. This meeting is one of the meetings listed on such resolution. And copies of the resolution are prior to January 10th. Okay.
Okay, following reports, municipal court, tax collector, treasurer, CFO, and Department of Public Works. Motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Yes.
Okay, second reading and public hearing of bond ordinance 1465, amending bond ordinance 1590.
Yeah, we can. Yes, we can. Yes.
And second reading of public hearing of bond ordinance 1646, amending bond ordinance 1680.
So these two ordinances are for public hearings.
Ordinance 1646, amending bond ordinance 1680.
So these two ordinances are for public hearing tonight. These are reallocating money from existing bond issues. It costs us a little bit less on the painting of the standpipes than we had anticipated. So it's reallocating that to water projects, the construction of a well house 12 part of our water system. So that's what this is doing. This is the public hearing on that ordinance. Anyone like to be heard on that? This is your opportunity to do so. Good? Okay.
Mayor Manley?
Yes.
Commissioner Leonard?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewandowski?
Yes.
That was approved 1645.
46, yes.
Okay, second reading and public hearing of ordinance 1647, salary ordinance.
So this is the public hearing. This is setting a range for an acting public works superintendent salary. We set that salary in a resolution that we'll get to in a minute. We have Kevin Carey, our police chief, has been acting as serving as the acting public works superintendent. So this is just setting the salary, paying some additional law doing that for us. We're kind of doing it on a temporary basis to allow them to be kind of fresh eyes on our public works department since our superintendent retired. So that's setting the salary range. It's like $5,000 to $15,000, right? So this is a public hearing on that. Anyone like to be heard on that ordinance? Okay.
Mayor Manley?
Yes.
Commissioner Leonard? Commissioner Lewandowski?
Yes.
Second reading and public hearing of ordinance 1648, amending chapter 141-13, escrow fees.
So this is simply revising escrow fees for different zoning board applications. It's a fee that gets paid in, there are professionals to bill against, and then if there's money left over, folks get it back after the matter is heard. This is a public hearing on that as well. Anyone like to be heard on this? This is your opportunity to do so. Good? Okay.
Mayor Manley?
Yes.
Commissioner Leonard? Yes. Commissioner Lewandowski?
Yes.
Bond resolutions, approving a lien certification for various properties.
This is for work that's done in cutting grass, abating violations that have happened in properties. This simply puts a lien against the property for the work that was done by public.
Approving a pilot agreement with the County of Camden for the Project SAVE program.
So this is a program that our town and Gloucester Township has been doing. Thanks to Chief Carey and his work, we have instituted within our municipal court the equivalent of what goes on in Superior Court, which is referred to as drug court. And it's a process whereby offenders are given an opportunity to participate in counseling, that if they successfully complete that counseling, it can hold up off certain drug charges. So Superior Courts all through the state have had great success at it, but it's not really used at the municipal level. Gloucester Township and Collingswood have been doing it for a couple of years now. The county is now taking that program and going to replicate it throughout all of the municipal courts in Camden County. They're going to put a little money behind it, and so get some money in for something we've been doing for a little while now. But this is simply agreeing to get into the county's program of shared service. Do this service that we've been doing for a little while now. Okay. Yes.
Yes.
And awarding a contract to Election Concrete for the 2018 roadway projects.
So this is a award contract for the, it's roughly 10 streets that we're doing, and we'll get it posted on the website exactly which streets they are. This is part of the $1 million from our budget this year that we are dedicating to repaving streets, improving infrastructure in town. Thankfully, the bids have just come in pretty much on our engineer's estimates, so we'll be able to do all the work that we had hoped to do. And that work, this is actually awarding the bids, so work will be beginning next 30, 60 days as the weather permits. Yes.
Yes.
Approving a salary resolution for acting public works superintendent.
So this is setting the salary under the range of the ordinance, which sets a salary of $15,000 for the additional responsibilities that Kevin Gary is serving in running our public works department right now. Yes.
Yes.
Approving raffle license for the New Jersey Association of Corrections and the College of Band Boosters.
Yes.
Yes.
Approving the grace period for taxes for sewer to November 12, 2018.
Yes.
Yes.
And approving payment of bills as presented by the treasurer.
Yes. Commissioner Landowski.
Thank you. I'm gonna actually get up here. I've got a little bit of a presentation. So, a few things to mention while this is getting set up. First of all, we're gonna have a really busy weekend in Collingswood. A really busy weekend here in Collingswood. On Saturday the 6th is the Concord Book Festival, and it's really fantastic. Everything from the area for little kids to, I think, the book club, Townwide Book Club that we're actually meeting right now with a local resident, actually, Corey Stamper. She's the author of the book. That's Saturday. On Sunday, Clover Market is in town, so I want to let you know about that. A couple other things. Leaf collection. Leaf collection will start the week of October 15th. So that's the first. I know there's not a lot of leaves unless you have a sycamore in town, but that's when leaf collection will begin, and it'll go into December. We ask you, please leave the leaves on the strip, on the grass median, not in the street. The Public Works will come and regulate them. So up until that time, for this week, for the week thereafter, you can still bag it, put it in a can. Please make sure things are cut appropriately to the size. Of course, if you got grass mulching, much better for your lawn. Don't bag mulching. So those are just a couple of dates I wanted to mention. So we were asked by members of the community to discuss a little bit about the backyard hens. I don't know if you know, we've been talking about it for a little while. And specifically, we were asked to please, each of the commissioners to please sort of state where you are on backyard hens. And I think that's fair. Thought it was clear, but as much as it's not, it doesn't hurt to say it again. So with that, I wanted to sort of have a little bit of a discussion, a little bit of civics, a little bit of where my mind is with any kind of policy. So, the idea is, first of all, this idea of what's wrong with me, what's wrong with you, what's wrong with us. And it really comes down to is that there's conflict and there's disagreement and tension. And I'm going to make the case that nothing's really wrong. This is part of course, what we should expect in policy making. So, first of all, just to get it out of the way, yes, and of course there's reasons that I could back away. But for me, there's four parts that are important. Obviously, it's limited in scope, that it's well thought out, that we anticipate where there are problems and we figure out how to fix them. And it's generally welcome that the townsfolk are interested in this idea as well. And then the last thing is that they're easy to run, right? That we want to know that when we do this, that we're not creating so much more work for the town, that becomes a problem itself. So that's where I am. I like the idea of pursuing a pilot. And some are happy with that, and some aren't. And really, that's okay, because that's how things go, right? We don't all agree on it. Try to get any 5 people to agree where you're gonna, go to dinner, and you'll have arguments. So something like this can cause issues as well. So a couple of things. There were discussions about process. Did you already make up your mind before this all began? And so I just wanted to kind of give you some sense of things that have been going on over the, year or so that I've been involved with this. First of all, a lot of it's, first of all, just getting the basic knowledge. And I was fortunate enough to attend a class that's offered on the basics of raising backyard chickens. I've taken site visits. I've seen coops in small yards and tried to get a sense of it. Research ordinances, looked at other towns. That gets us into public policy. This is a little bit of civic stuff, but it's important to me, and hopefully it'll be important to you. It's not just about yes and no. It's not say yes and and make sure you parrot the arguments for yes, even though I'm not supportive of it. It's really about sort of balancing competing needs, and I break it up based on 3 characteristics. And value, capacity, support, right? There needs to be a net public value of the policy that we're going to take on, right? We want to know that there's a benefit to the community. Does it benefit everybody? No, but nothing generally benefits everyone, right? But we want to make sure that overall the community is better off for this. The second one is capacity, operational feasibility. Do we have the money? Do we have the legal, the managerial, the technical understanding? And then the third one is politically feasible. Does the community, endorse the purpose of this, and they believe it could be managed well, right? So those are sort of the 3 things, not just yes or no. If I say yes, but I don't have a plan in place, what it's going to look like, that's a real problem. So those are the 3 things. And just to kind of give you a sense of where to end this on this issue, well, it really depends, but it's probably not as fully aligned in this area where all 3 of those things overlap, right? All the big things here are community support, capacity, and value. There's not a lot that overlaps all of them. I use the example of professional firefighters. We could have volunteer firefighters, but they're difficult to get. They're not always available. It will affect response time. The needs are different. And so this is an area that I think people understand the value of having people on the clock 24/7, able to respond to fires, professionally trained. We know that we have the resources for it, budget working for it. And, and obviously I think the public supports that value. So that's an example, just using other, examples of where something else could be. We could talk about no motor vehicle traffic on Haddon Avenue. Well, that might provide value in the sense that you're a lot safer crossing the street, and it'd be easy to do. You can put up planters and detours on either side of Haddon Avenue, but you might not have public support because people on Maple aren't going to like it. People on Atlantic aren't going to like it, right? So you see where sometimes you don't have the intersection. Removing parking restrictions on Haddon Avenue. I think everyone would love not to pay, for parking along the avenue, and we could say, all right, well, that would have support. That would be easy enough to do. We could just kick things out, but the value wouldn't necessarily be there. One of the reasons you have, metered parking is to turn over cars, to make sure that cars do move so that someone else can have that place. You run into an issue where essentially people who are employees of, you didn't have any parking restrictions, people who were, who work at those stores could just be there. And that would push customers further away. So you kind of get a sense of what goes into this. It's not just yes or no. It's a myriad of things that go into this, right? I can sit here as a proponent of this and talk about the benefits of, being able to have this type of thing in homes, it's not the transportation of eggs, greenhouse gases, and all these other things I can look at, but I can also look at that there's an uptick in salmonella outbreaks, that very young and very old are most susceptible, and that, that's an issue because that's 25% of our population. 25% of our population are below the age of 5. We'll have time, below the age of 5 or above the age of 65. So the idea here is there are things that go into it. So you kind of get a sense of this stuff. The other thing, I'll just mention one of those sort of bullets in there, is that things change. Things change, and I actually mentioned it. All three of these things matter, and it's not static. Things change over time. We may get better capacity. We may have better understanding. I don't think the ordinance is going anywhere, and I will say that that's okay. That's okay. I support, a measure for backyard hens, but I don't do it because it's great, because it's the answer to all our problems. I do it because I think it's good enough, because I think it can work, because I think there are challenges that we need to deal with. We need to deal with people keep their pens clean, we need their coops clean, we need to deal with the potential of noise. And I know you'll say, well, there's no rooster. Well, hens will sometimes take on the traits of a rooster. So we need to be prepared for these things and everything else. So I think I don't support it because I think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. I do it because I think it's good enough and I think we could get there, right? The last thing I'll say, disagreement over politics is natural. And, with an unlimited amount of wants and needs and really limited resources to do it, invariably, it's a very common answer. And that's coming from a person that's willing to say yes to the right ordinance. Is no is common, and that's okay. You're good people. People up here are good people. The people that aren't here, that are watching online or not watching online, are good people. And it's okay. We can treat each other with respect and we can disagree. And then the last thing is there are other things that I'd like to work on. I think there are things, we have choices that we can find commonality or we can focus on the differences. And I think that as much as there may not be agreement on this, there's got to be agreement on different things. Things around sustainability, things around the environment, quality of life, arts and recreation. We have things that are out there, and I do want to work on those. And then I do think, and it's the last bullet, and I think it's really important, is think creatively. Think creatively. Collingswood does not have the resources to be all things to all people. But what we do have here, I think, in abundance, is people that will be resourceful with their mind, energies, try to find ways to create something that might not have a big bill attached to it, something like that. And I hope we can do this. So the short answer is yes. I'm supportive of a limited, well thought out, easy to run thing. But the other side of it is I do want to have this discussion because I think it really is important to understand that there's a lot that goes into the process. So I'm going to leave that down. I know there's two other people that need to speak, but
I don't need the voting. Okay, back to our regularly scheduled meeting. Give it a
that's good.
Commissioner Leonard.
So today was supposed to be the leaders meeting where I brought some attention to the successes that we've had at our Green Festival. I have a couple things to talk about. There's a great banner that's been created. There's also some 3 years in a row of the community gardeners receiving special awards. 10-year anniversary of the Green Festival. There's been news articles about our bike share. There's so many things going on. But I didn't put it on the official agenda. We wanted to bring children out to this. And so I'm going to hold it back because it would be much better if we got the children to come and we didn't need to make that happen. So I'm prepared for it and it's not going to be what it should be. So I'll hold back. What I want you to know to think about. So if you want to come back next month about this is in our 10-year anniversary of the Green Festival. It's been the same things we've done every year for 10 years, but more, but richer, but more people involved. You know, back in our composters, there are at least 600 families with composters now. You know, almost 10 years of bike share. There's so many things that people have done, and I wanted to just involve some kids and do some things like it. But thinking about that and looking back on that without showing things we're doing a whole presentation on that, it just made me reflect back on all of the people that have contributed so much, whether they're employed by the borough or volunteers that help to accomplish it, or the homeowners that say, yes, I'll be on that committee and help with that. A little example. So we have sustainability group and we have a tree committee, but when somebody wants a tree planted in front of their house, I always say, well, what about all your neighbors? How did your block happen? And we come up with these flyers together and say, do we all want to get together and have a tree count? So we've done all that, 25 blocks already. If you look back on that, it's made such a difference in community getting things done. So far, we've just done a quick look back over that. Earth Day celebrated that at our different schools and different parts of the community over 30 years that I know of. Arbor Day celebrations at least 20 years. Composter sales at least 10 years. Bike share about 9 years. Rain barrels 8 to 9 years. Rain gardens maybe only 5 years. Perkins schools, so it's taking off. We've had education, people are interested. The Tree City USA Award, I think it's since 1999, so I better have to really look that up and see it. We're really coming up on, that many years of this. We had films by some of our community members to increase our awareness of the environment. Our farmers market, all the people who help with the farmers market, not just our great farmers, but the volunteers who help to spread the word and getting rid of plastic bags and, farm fresh food and how that's changed our lives. Getting through things together like our storms, where the trees that come up out of the ground and the Department of Public Works just helping people, fire, the police, everybody working together to get rid of these disastrous situations. Working together on stormwater runoff, had help in Night Park, the volunteers that come out twice a year, help the children with trees and taking care of them. So, one of our newest things is habitat gardens so that we get rid of more grass and just not only mulch the residue road, but get rid of it and have more plants and things that are butterfly friendly. That's a new one that we've had a lot of education about lately. And local shopping, just bringing people to walk around our downtown, including the market. Just how long we've waited for McFarland to show up so we can walk to another person's store, maybe Saturday, and that so it just goes on. So I think for this thing, I have read probably another encyclopedia in the past month about short-term rentals and chickens, and it just makes me reflect back on how far we've come in so many different areas. My readings, I don't say no to a whole lot. I've done nothing but say yes and who wants to be on that committee. This one, a lot more people say no than yes, and we have to serve everyone. And the smell, the feces, the noise, the proximity, the fact that we don't have big enough areas to have enough buffer, those keep coming up and up and up no matter what I read, no matter how many things I come up with. Is really nobody wants to be next door to someone's chickens. I've read a volume on it, and everyone wants to gently tell their neighbor, what do I do? And some neighbors say too bad it's legal, and some say, well, can you eat your neighbor? Have an egg. But it's very hard to change our laws when they changed it with these little properties we have to be able to fit this in. The smell is horrendous when it's there, and to call the zoning officer every week on your next door neighbor really wrecks your quality of life. So I am still reading, I am still learning, I'm still trying, but at least I gave myself time this month to take a break from the problems of it and look at what we do when someone's tree pulls out of the ground, and we have to help them. We make solutions, we come up with things together. This is just one that we haven't been able to because of the small properties and problems inherent with it. I'm not pushing for a community chicken coop but I did bring it up. I think it'd be the first one in the state to do something like this. It's a lot of work. I'm not saying I'm dying to do one more project, but our community gardens have gone from 1 to 35 households to 2. Now we have over 60 households of the working within community gardens. I thought maybe we could do that in some way if we put our heads together, create it, and thought it out. Like that's not here in one's neighbor's house. That everyone can work together, they can help each other. It's just a thought. Thoughts in Collingswood are good. Thoughts work better when people really want to do it. Like the book festival this weekend. My God, how long and hard has that committee been for so many years now looking for new people to take it over and bigger and better every year. So you have to have a committee like that to come up with something. And it always has to be about what's good for everybody in our neighborhood. It's never good if it's just good for a few people. It has to be that we really value it. So I just wanted to tell you some of my thoughts. I can go on forever, but I will spare you of my research. And that was chickens, not the B&B. The B&B, we've come a long way to go to come up with that. I can tell you the volume, but I'm gonna hold that, Mr. Mayor, let's speak, I'll just wait for next time.
Okay, so I'm happy to report that I don't have McFarland's update for today. That's because it's open, just in case you didn't. Next Monday night, October 8th, is Fire Prevention and Public Safety Night, which is always a big shindig. Our police and fire kind of alternate between the two, about who takes the lead, and it's usually a great night. Great night for families. Make sure you come out 6 to 8 p.m. Kind of out here, right? Fire, you guys have fire, right? That's why Kevin smiled. Mid-October, we're not sure the date, but the Environment New Jersey group is having like an electric car demonstration here. We'll have details about that. We'll put up on our website. There's one thing I want to mention, which I tell you this, that none of you can go to it unless you have tickets already. But I just think it's really cool that it's happening. October 26th is at the Scottish Rite. It's a concert. It's a benefit concert. It's the Lantern Tour. Concerts for migrant and refugee families. It is Emmylou Harris, Jackson Brown, Steve Earle, Sean Coleman, Lila Downs. They're doing 6 different concerts this year. They've done this before in the past for different causes. This sold out in like 13 minutes on Ticketmaster. It's a big deal. They are one of the folks at the county. We started the Scottish Rite 20 years ago. We knew we would be a success with scalping in the parking lot. And this will be the first one that they're scalping tickets in the parking lot. Stuff up there, and for incredible numbers. So it's a big deal coming in. We're really happy to host it. Really glad that we were able to put together with the promoters. We were asked to give our positions about backyard hens. Mine, I guess the easiest is just to put it in perspective of the brewery, when the brewery was coming into town. When that first came up, I was dead set against it. I was putting a bar in, there's no way, didn't want to have it. We started testing it. We started testing it out in groups, talking to people, seeing what they had to say. To our surprise, at least to my surprise, it was unanimous. It just was unanimous. I mean, for every town forum where we would bring it up and throw the question out, out of one person, maybe, who wasn't thrilled with the idea. So we did our homework, we were zoning pretty tight to help control it so that we felt that it would be a compliment for our community, and we put it in place. With the backyard hens, the process has been, I've done homework with other towns that have it. I've worked with the folks that have been proponents of this, talked to them about what would be a way to try to move this along. But this has been a different process because part of the reason for airing it and getting it out there in the public is to hear from everyone, okay? To hear from what everyone has to say. And for this topic, there's not near the consensus that there was on an issue like the brewery coming in. It's not that it's a majority, it's that there's a substantial group of folks. There's a good size, group out there of people who don't like the idea. Even I, from day one, said like, I really would not like chickens next door. It would be important to me if we were to try anything like this, there have to be, neighbors would have to give the okay for it, have to be really tight. And we have not gotten, actually, the last couple of weeks, there's been more and more written out in different, outlets. Wasn't not that complimentary of us, but there's been some things written out there about us. But what that has done is it has surfaced a lot more people, okay, who are not in favor. And so I'm not there. I'm not ready to adopt the program. And so that's where I am. Just so people know if that was where I was, or I didn't state my reasons clearly. That's it. Airbnb, we are working on an ordinance that would regulate. That ordinance, we're kind of in a rough draft stage and working through a number of other issues that other towns have dealt with on their regulations. It's going to take a little time. We got a lot of things to think about and try to work through. It is not, I will just repeat, I think I've said this over and over, it will not be any regulation that will allow people to do what some folks have been cited for current, which is you will not be able to rent your house on a short-term basis for any extended period of time. I can tell you that. That's almost certain. That's how it will be. We're really working on what would the rules be on how you would regulate that? What would be required in terms of fire safety? What would be required in terms of contacts if something goes wrong? All those kinds of things are the things that we're looking at. We're looking at them because we think people are going to do this anyway, and because our fire chief has suggested to us that we would do better to tightly regulate it so that we had a good handle on just how it gets done. I keep going back to the fire today up the street that, when it was this Airbnb has been a topic, that the chief said to me, if you had it in place, I don't know how that would have turned out. People that live in a house that they're not accustomed to, for a night, when something bad happens in the night, very often they get a hard time finding where to go. Okay? Especially if a stairwell or an entryway is blocked in some way, you need to know where the other spots are. So we're looking at that, we're trying to put something together about how to regulate that. We're not the only ones that are doing that. It's only a worldwide issue with towns left and right, either severely regulating it or just banning it. So we're looking at that. Okay? So I think those are the hot topics of the day. This is going to open it up to the floor. This is the public. This is your chance to bring anything before us you would like to. Yes. Just state your name and address for the record.
My name is Suzanne Ficara, F-I-C-A-R-A. I live at 109 Cooper Street in Haddon Township. I have two questions, one for you, Mr. Lewandowski, and one for you, Mr. Leonard. Mr. Lewandowski, let me first state that I worked for the New Jersey Department of Health and Senior Services for 34 and a half years. 13 of those years, I worked in the public health laboratories. I was the supervisor of the foodborne, salmonella, and parasitology laboratories. You can't tell me anything about a salmonella outbreak that I don't already know. What is your documentation for your statement that there is an increase in salmonella? What's your documentation?
So the CDC in June, put out
What year?
this year, put out an advisory and talked about that there's increased outbreak of, mind you, I'm the person who's for it, but since you asked, that there's an increased outbreak of salmonella due to backyard hens. They specifically talked about people treating them like pets. They're holding them, they're kissing them, not properly cleaned. It's a real issue. It's a real issue. If you think that I should ignore it, I'll ignore it because you asked me to. No, I won't. It's really important that we do these things. So I'm glad you know more, but that speaks to what I wrote up there. You have to have the technical ability to do this. When I send an inspector out to go look at this, it's a firefighter. What does a firefighter know about animal husbandry, about public health? They don't. So this is what I talk about when I say, you know, it's not just yes or no, it's about capacity to be able to do this. That's what I'm talking about. I'm glad you know. I'm telling you that my person, my firefighter who goes out there doesn't know. And so if they go out and they don't know what to look for, then how do they know if they're gonna spot a potential hazard? That's why.
The situation that you described is not a food-borne illness. It is a contact illness.
That's correct.
And you could get a contact
Tell you what, can
illness
we,
from your
whatever comments you have, please make them, but I really don't want us to get into the.
So we can get everyone else.
So just let everybody, whatever you'd like to say, public comment, please go right ahead.
And I apologize, because everyone does want to.
Yeah, well, so we can't debate everybody, like, there's
No,
no,
that's me, that's me, not them.
nobody's
Not-
gonna
not
be
her,
fair
that's
with
me,
you,
that's
so
me.
go ahead.
All right, Commissioner, you said that you have been doing all of this reading about smells and, you know, just the general nuisance of chickens. What's your source?
Well, I'm not gonna answer you this, about that, we can talk about it later. We're not going back.
We're not gonna, so Joan will talk a lot about what she's read. You wanna know everything she's read.
Well, I worked on the committee to get chickens in Haddon Township, and I did this for many years, and believe me, I did a lot of research. I'm also a master's degree librarian, so I know how to do a search. And I did not find this kind of information that you're talking about.
It's coming out now, like it's really available now, there's more places that are doing it. You know, there's always gonna be something to talk about, so the positives and the negatives are out more and more as the years go by. Environmental problems, anyway.
Okay.
I really think you need to provide documentation to folks here and to the newspaper report.
Sure, thanks. Yes,
I actually have it here.
okay.
The CDC put the report out.
Name,
Oh, I'm
address,
sorry.
correct, that's right.
Frequency of Farmville, 428 West Browning Road. Since, from 2000 to 2017, there have been 17 salmonella outbreaks linked back to Earth Poultry. There's been 4,794 illnesses, 894 hospitalizations, and 7 deaths directly linked back to our chicken. So,
Chickens or poultry?
I tell you what, you have your say, no, Stephen, no, you can exchange it later on, we're not doing this.
So that's my major concern with salmonella, having children, and it's definitely an issue. You know, all the things that Joan said about the smell. And just on the note, and I'm also a real estate agent, and I sell real estate in all the areas, surrounding areas. I actually had an incident in one of the towns that allowed backyard chickens. People came through, loved the house, and then they went out to the backyard and saw, you know, it was an adjoining house that had a chicken coop, and they were like, okay, we can leave now. So I don't really know if that's really draws and brings people to the town.
Okay. All right, thanks, Steve. Anyone else? Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Hi.
Name and address for the record,
My
please.
name is Lena Smith. I am actually an organizer of the Food and Water Box, and not local, but we have 900 members that live here in Collingswood. And very sympathetic to the chickens, but I'm here about programs that we're working on around climate change. And to urge you all to investigate a community choice aggregation program.
I'm sorry, get it again, slow.
To investigate a community choice aggregation program that would put Collingswood on a path to 100% renewable energy by the year 2035. So this was something that was passed in New Brunswick earlier this year, and what it does is allows residents in a community to take control of electricity that's produced by their local utilities, and leave the ownership of power in the grid in the hands of the utilities. So it creates a bulk purchasing agreement for municipalities to purchase renewable energy, sell their residents in the township.
Can I just ask you just, so we looked at something like that a couple years ago, right? So isn't that we decided not to do it because, while there certainly are companies that are, sustainable, different percentages of what their energy sustainable means. Isn't it like that's the program where we would buy what every personal home, who they would buy their energy? So do we talk about the same thing?
I don't know what everybody would be investigating, but yes, it would be, create a commission or a working group in your township that would all purchase the energy. And usually residents would be opted in automatically, they could opt out of the purchasing agreement. But it creates a system where residents have control of their energy and the prices in a way that, right now we're under a lot of control by utilities, and so a lot of independence in our energy system. Also, I think, this Hollingswood has been a leader in environmentalism, sustainability, and how we talked about. And these programs are a great way to address climate change, which, Governor Murphy has been a great leader, and we need to go faster than people set out. And these small local municipal programs help to ramp up the plans that Governor Murphy has put in.
Could we meet with you and just go over the updated information, because, whatever we looked at, that one, expertise there, so I would love to learn more and bring that up.
And we are looking at the sample ordinance that we can present.
Stay up.
And you said New Brunswick's already put it in
They
place?
just passed it in June, August.
That's
But
just
a lot of towns have done.
Yeah.
The energy aggregation.
Yeah.
aggregation.
They're not the first in New Jersey, they have the most aggressive one that's at the timeline of 100% by the year 2035, which climate scientists believe that we need to cut our fossil fuel emissions by the year 2035 to avoid the worst impacts of climate change. It's actually what the report on BBC.
So the borough's energy, not close home. Borough's energy is already purchased through the statewide aggregation system. That we're 30-40% that's sustainable. I know that we get points on our sustainable years.
Always one.
So, okay, yeah, we can look at it. And I hear what you're saying, the issue for us by this program was, it had us deciding, okay, everybody in town, your PSE&G supplier now is XYZ. Okay, and we weren't real thrilled with that idea. I know there's an opt-out, but good Lord, to get word to people and let them know, if you don't go listen, if you don't opt out of this, this is what's gonna happen. It's just like big thing. So.
Let's see the model.
Yeah, let's do this.
Maybe communication is better now than right now.
Okay, thanks. Anyone else? Mary Ellen?
Green festival person.
Mary Ellen?
Hi,
Name and address.
Mary Ellen Reeves, 401 Virginia Avenue, Collins. I'm coming here as a phantom objector, which I read about, and I saw some of the things shown ignorant. And I used to be zoning officer for the borough. I have seen chicken coops. I have seen backyard chicken coops, backyard duck coops, and even a backyard goose coop. I'm very careful how I say that. And I was responding to objections from the neighbors. I feel that from that experience and reading about them, I do not want them in town. I don't want to live next to one. My husband is very concerned that it would, and he's not even, so you'll have to take my word for it, but he's, feels that it impedes on his property rights. And so, that's my feeling on chickens. With the Airbnbs, I can see doing it with a lot of controls, but I have lived in town since '83. And I know what the town looked like when there were apartments that were uncontrolled. People had converted buildings all over town to apartments. I would object to anybody buying a house and using it exclusively for an Airbnb. I know this is going on in Philadelphia, I've spoken to realtors who do it. I've been even told that there's a person who cleans, a couple people who clean properties in Philadelphia. That's exclusively what they do. They have like 40 employees who go out and clean Airbnbs every day. Great business, God bless them, but I would not like to see that here. And I think if we do it, it's going to be very, very limited. We can't have what happened before happen in Collingswood. Again, we've made this a viable town. We've made it a town that people want to come to. It's attractive for people of all ages, and I'd like to see it stay that way. Thank you.
Anyone else? Stay.
Yeah, sure. My name's Amelia Goldfish, 427 Patton Avenue, here in Collingswood, and, I do have some objections to backyard chickens and to Airbnbs. The backyard chickens, I'm concerned about the manure and, the gases that'll, if it's not kept properly, you're gonna have manure gases in town, things like methane and some other dangerous substances. Also, I'm concerned about our water quality and resource management. I think that there's potential for runoff into our streams, and we already have a problem with geese and all the nitrogen levels in our streams, and we have the algae blooms where we have installed the aerators in the park and stuff. So I'm concerned about that. I'm concerned about aerial pollution from chicken coops and the manure that can just blow into a neighboring yard. And that could carry diseases with it, and it can get into your lungs. So yeah, I think there are problems with that. I wouldn't like it next door to me. I lived next door to a neighbor for 25 years, and any animal that she had, she was willfully inadequate, never cleaned dog waste for dogs. I would have to call to have her, to complain about her. She'd take care of it, and we just go back to do it again. It was a constant problem for me, and it's very difficult to live next door to her. And then as far as Airbnb is concerned, I think that those who are operating Airbnbs, or, excuse me, I want to call them illegal boarding houses, because the air just bothers me, because what it is a boarding house, and it's facilitated by this huge company. It's, I think I read it's in fact like the biggest hospitality company in the world. So it's pretty easy, you know, to put my property on this website, and they're gonna collect the money for me. They're gonna take 3% off as their fee. I'm just gonna get that deposited into an account. It's like a no-brainer for people. It's like a get-rich, gold rush kind of mentality. So now I see, I'm looking up some listings in Collingswood, and you know, they said they're from Collingswood, I don't know where they are. One home looked like a row home. It was not owner occupied, and they're renting the whole house out, charging $115 a night. This kid, you could be making, you know, like 40 grand over these Airbnbs. So they're not properly insured, because Airbnb says they have insurance, but if you read the fine print, if you're breaking your local ordinances, you're not gonna have any insurance coverage. And I don't know about your homeowner's insurance, because possibly they don't know that you're doing this operation. So if somebody gets hurt, what's gonna happen? Who's responsible? Like the poor person who's thinking I'm an illegal thing, if Collingswood says okay. Well, you're gonna have people that are renting that have no assurances that if something happens to them or their family members, they're gonna be able to recoup anything. And what about these houses? People who are renting their houses out, are they gonna just be wiped out completely because they don't have insurance? So I think that's a big problem. I see this one little house on, it looks like it might be on Collins or Lincoln Avenue. And in the description, this is about parking. They say, although you can park on my street during the day, I'll ask if you are able overnight. You can park in one of the free parking lots nearby, so your car does not displace a homeowner's car. There are 2 free lots available to you, one at the end of my street and one about a block away. And then they say you can also park on Patton Ave, which has metered kiosk parking 7 days a week from 9 to 9, 50 cents an hour, and free before and after those hours. Now, we all know we're not supposed to park on the street between 2 and 6 a.m. So this is all nonsense, and this is the house that they don't live in. I saw another apartment. It looked like the woman said she was from Cherry Hill, and she's renting her apartment Airbnb. So she's got an apartment that she's subletting out Airbnb. I saw another duplex. The people live in the duplex, but they rent their duplex apartment solely Airbnb. So this is crazy amount. You know, I think the state of New Jersey is coming up with a way to charge Airbnb directly for sales tax.
Also, I think the New Jersey State Legislature is coming up with rules and regulations to regulate Airbnb. So I don't think it, I saw it online. So I don't want this in my neighborhood. I can't imagine if I lived in an apartment and then my next door neighbor, was subletting it every night to a different person. I live in a twin, and if my neighbor was doing that, and my neighbor did actually use her house as somewhat of a boarding house, which I think she was smart enough not to put it out on Airbnb. So I'm very concerned. I'm very concerned about fire safety, public health. Even the tenants are endangered, but they think they're coming to a legitimate place. I would never stay there. I would want to be in a hotel where I have some peace of mind and some safety. So that's my thought about it. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Jen. Yep, Jen, just leave it address.
Jen Roxy, on Avenue. We went from historical for about a week and a half online on the website I run. I also put the location. And those, so about 200 opinions printed here that I'll leave with you. I'm not gonna.
You have a resume for us, I mean, you should dig it all down. Just come up and hand it to us, Kate, that's fine.
So, also want to talk about the Parks on again, Walsh, is happening, on the playground. Background.
Say it again, as far as reading.
Yeah.
The mulch we've been there now, 3 washrooms.
Yes. So,
And
work these. Getting there. We're there.
just hit me with an added girl once in a while, so I I'm working really hard to free up. Just give me a little.
That's how it's done.
That's what I'm saying, I'm appreciating the mulch that's brought there, the kids are having a great time just to be around that, great kids running around on the playground, people looking at the swings and everything. It's just more passionate. You do see some, one area that we were addressing last year, most of that was gone, so being further ahead of the anchor plan or something like that. And another thing I wanted to talk about was, reason I think that we're having this level of frustration is that one of the suggestions in my poll was actually a good way to gain our opinion. I think you guys did solicit for backyard and May 17th, the time prior, and she received some emails and that kind of conversation picked up. Conversation picked up again. I'm sure you're getting a lot more emails, so we start talking about it again. So maybe some way for people to do feedback on your website, you have a way that people can register complaints, certificate, but there's really no follow-up on those kinds of things happening, like, not more, so they can, oh, here's next. But, okay, this, we're, bigger plan going, back to just some, kind of see a pipeline of how things are happening. That would be great, we've got a lot of follow-up on things that have brought to the commissioner meetings, so I appreciate that. So maybe some way for people to send things to our website.
Yes, you do that?
Submit.
Saying we, like, didn't you do that?
Don't put it in the prior, no formal channel, I think typically have been right to your
Yeah, they're right to us.
officials.
They're right to us, they're talk to us. Yeah, they're right to talk to us.
No, we didn't have a specific channel for the river either, right? This is
No, they're right to talk to us.
But you need to get a complaint or something like, see if my wall you fell into that.
Oh, we have it, we have it.
That's what I wanted to do.
It's the same, talking
We
about.
have that.
No, take-
You want somebody to get back to their house, is that what's happening?
Well, no, I mean, we see it, people are getting that feedback, but we're talking about also about having community groups focused around, shade trees and things like that, maybe what an idea like the future, something like backyard trees, or something like that happens, that you can form a focus group, and that way you kind of make steps, that way it's not just coming back and everybody's getting questions, but it's almost.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead, Barney. Back.
In our fields for 17 Park Avenue. And I would just like to also kind of verbally express my opinion about the chicken, and I just don't see the value of it. Frankly, I don't see a support for it. Maybe I'm part of the silent majority of now, who doesn't necessarily feel like that about Facebook and myself, just sending it to. But I sending is up, who's gonna go around and check to see if you have 5 chickens, 10 chickens, 50 chickens? Or did somebody say that you're gonna do it with a fire inspection? I mean, occupy that person's time doing that versus a fire. Just, you know, priority don't seem to be right. I think there's a lot of issues and ordinances, you know, that might be worse for them. But it's just another issue.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I feel like I got the bride side and the groom side here. Yes, we'll go back and forth, everybody gets a chance.
Hey, Fairley, 800 Belmont Avenue. First of all, I'd like to thank Public Works. I have a neighbor elderly who had family dump a big pile of, sticks, and they weren't cut the size, and Public Works came home from 2 days after my call. He didn't know it was over. I want to speak to you guys thank you for having a little bit more transparency for us on the chicken thing. I just keep going back to, it's a trial, it's a pilot, it's 15 people, it's a couple chickens. If it doesn't work out, I have my backup plan. My mom was Delran, she would take the chicken. Like, maybe everyone has a backup plan. They have a pilot. So you have an easy way out. If you make a place, you say, okay, well, after 1 year, I'm warning you, if we don't like it, we're gonna pull out. Just give it a try. That's a trial. It's not an ordinance. You see you guys use the word ordinance too. We're not looking for ordinance. We're looking for a pilot, a small one. I don't care how many hoops I gotta jump through. I just want chickens for my kids. Really, that's all. And speaking to you guys, I was over there with you guys. I'm like, smell, the work, is it worth it? And once I saw some chickens, I saw a coop. Austin gives you a rebate if you get a live coop from them. Some states, some towns, their property values have gone up. They're more hipster business towns, even more than Collingswood. But it's true. So once I kind of did my homework, I got there on the other side. So I'm not asking you guys to get chickens. I'm just asking you to say, hey, let me have a couple of chickens and try it out. And after 365 days, if you hate it, I got my plan.
Thank you. Somebody, yes, right here, we'll get around. Yep. Name and address for the record, please.
Maureen White, 34 State. What happens when the chicken is no longer productive? What's done?
You can make whatever comments you want. We're not about to get into discussion. We're just not gonna do that. Anything, you have anything else, or you just, that's your question? Okay, that's fine.
Thank
Yes. Go ahead, right here. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My name is Linda L.Y.N.G.A. Newman Tier, resident of 80 West Summerfield Avenue. Well, I think it's interesting and quite open of you to say that you will consider something with Airbnb in our community. I'd like to keep an open mind to that in some limited way, but I wanted to first point out local inadequacies that I've seen in the terms and conditions that Airbnb themselves post on their own website. Quote, hosts are responsible for identifying, understanding, and complying with all laws, rules, and regulations that apply to listings. So for example, current Airbnb hosts are already in violation of existing laws. So, I just wonder about that. And also, Airbnb appears to have a woefully inadequate response to complaints. For example, they say, quote, our team will review your complaint. If we match it with an active listing, we'll send your message to the host when possible. When possible. Now that concerns me very, very much. And another thing is that if there's anything to do with safety, if a neighbor has a concern about a safety matter at their Airbnb property, Airbnb themselves say, contact the local police. So our police department may be increasingly busy if there is activity at such a property where there could possibly be a problem. I cannot say, but it could be an increased burden on our government. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So, Yep, over there, yeah. But,
Russ Jackson, 113 American College. I have yet to see anything that shows the upside for town residents on the ends or the ends, chickens are concerned. I don't quite understand the program in the sense that the pilot project was undertaken and it worked. Where does it go from there? What's the big picture? Where does this all end up? I don't see that in all the games that we provide places as children.
all right, thank you. I'll get around. I'm sorry, we'll go over there and solve this.
Hi there, Michael Schmelzer, 790 Haddon. I have no real opinion on either one of these issues personally. For what we want to do, we wouldn't be doing either one. I guess from a.
Michael, this is the owner of the new karaoke business.
Oh, thank you for the promotion.
Bring the microphone.
I thought you were gonna sing a song in favor
I
of
know.
something.
Only in the private suite. We don't
All sides of the issue, right?
So I guess though, at first I'm really glad to hear the opposition from a point of view of, as I've been listening to this for some months, I hadn't heard it. All I heard was sometimes people I would see on Facebook, someone just say no reasons, no anything. So I think, first of all, I think the silent, if there is a silent majority or not, I think it's good that they're coming out to this meeting and saying reasons that they felt through, and I think that's great, and I respect that. I think the things that I think about, and actually was brought up, I've had neighbors with dogs that have been great neighbors. I'm not a dog person. Please don't put that on the record. I've also had neighbors with terrible situations with dogs. I have no control over that. And there's no ordinances around it, or cats, or other things. So this is, in my mind, I wonder what's different about a barking dog for someone who leaves their barking dog out all night and all day. We probably all had neighbors like that, maybe not next door, but somewhere we can hear it. And ones that have great dogs that we like and play with, and our kids play with, and all of that. And I think it's the same thing. So I think as we talk about a pilot of this situation of chickens, not Airbnb, you're going to have people who want to make it work, as Heidi said, that if they don't make it work, they're going to get pulled right away. And so you're going to have only people who are really interested in making it work, and then you can find out from there. And I think there are positives. I actually didn't think there were really positives either, and I went to the open meeting. And that meeting was a shame in that the only people that showed up that I could tell, other than my family who really didn't have an opinion, was people who were already in favor. So it was a shame that none of the people, I think maybe, I'm not sure how this went, but maybe the commissioners asked for that meeting to be held so that there could be a forum. But there's only a forum if both sides discuss it, which again, I'm glad to hear that here tonight, that both sides are thinking about it and talking about it. But that night where there was, you could have actually asked questions that could have been answered by the people who knew the most. Nobody was there against it. It was all people who were just like, great, this is awesome, sure, and positive softball questions that were answered positively. So anyway, I have heard a lot of positive. I became a fan as a result of that meeting. I think a controlled pilot makes sense and can be positive, and if it's not, then we'll all learn from that, and that'll be the end of it. But anyway, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Sorry, I'm Rossi. So on the, I just want to say briefly on the chicken issue, right? We grew up in Southampton when I was younger, and we had chickens, and you would not have known from noise or film that we had chickens. We just had nice brown eggs in the fridge. I keep hearing people bring up like this noise, like chickens are crowing when you're door at 3:30 in the morning. That's what roosters. So I have hens. It's not the thing people are making it out to be. I also wanted to say that the person who come out tonight. And I really want to encourage, and I think Food and Water Watch has a couple of really good concepts with this community aggregation, and also the idea of a general push toward being on fossil fuels by 2035. But I think Collins could really like take the lead in South Jersey, being like there in speaking for the environment and pushing back. I don't know if people have seen like that's the Trump administration basically look at it, figure climate change is happening, and they're not bothered, you know. And I think we have to take the opposite tack and really push on this.
Okay, thanks. Yes, ma'am.
And I am a proponent of chickens and everything. But I wanted to talk about, the forum that was held to inform people about a lot of the questions that people have about chickens. And Airbnb, and I think both programs, no one is saying without regulation. I think that the regulation part is the important part that everybody can form some sort of consensus around. There would be restrictions on lot size for chickens. And to keep the there up, and if it wasn't, then it would be removed. Just getting to your point of when a chicken stops producing, I think most people who want the chicken want them as a family pet, basically, who also produces eggs. So it's not like once they stop producing, they get rid of them. I think they're happy to have them around. And the upside is that it's a really sustainable thing environmentally. They eat like a ton of food waste that otherwise would go to landfills. And it's a great solution. And we're a green town. All those things were addressed at the
Thank you. This, that's right, yep, go ahead.
Jill, 27 East Browning Road, Collinswood. And I just wanted to echo what you were saying in support of the ordinance that we introduced. Food and Water Watch has been taking the lead for quite some time. And our town is already very advanced in green and environmental sustainable needs. So it just seems like a good solution to push together. And we can also serve, I think, as a model for other communities in South Jersey. So we're here, talk here. Okay.
Yes, Ms. Jackson.
Mary Jackson, 113 Fern. My concern is the attraction of fern, specifically rats. That would also be a problem. Secondly, you would have to hire another inspector to keep track of all of them. I don't think one person could do it.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
I think it's 170 to 50 more around. And I just wanted to also voice my support for the community to the energy choice programs.
Okay. Thanks. Yes, sir.
Rob Gilbert, 317 Leeds Avenue. Rob, enjoyed your presentation. I replaced the Venn diagram though with an aphorism: government that governs best governs the least. So until there arises a point where there's a compelling interest or a major nuisance, I think that's where the line goes. That should be understood in those cases. A lot of the objections to chickens, they're legitimate. Feces is a legitimate concern, but that's the whole point of these ordinances limiting them to 3 or 4. We're not talking about agricultural kind of scale things here. So that's something else I want to point out. The gentleman with the songbird, he stole my thunder on the dogs. We have dogs. A lot of people have dogs. I could have 4 bull mastiffs dropping 20 pounds of poop a day, which is more than 3 hens would have. So, you got to look at some things that way. Last thing I'd like to point out, and Rob, back to you. You didn't realize it. You made an understatement of the year. I think when you said we've been looking at this a little while. It was 7 years and 2 months ago from tonight, my son Eric Hitler, as an 8-year-old.
I looked it up, he was 8 years
Oh,
old, yeah.
okay, yeah. 7 years, 2 months. And it was almost, yeah, we were working on 8 now. And up on the screen, I saw these things that are in the conjure pad, you can still find it, that he proposed. 3 or 4 square feet per chicken, no more than 3 chickens per household. All chickens must be hens, all chickens close air. Chickens get no closer than 25 feet. You get the whole point. So an 8-year-old brought this to this body 7 years and 2 months ago. So I just want to leave it
We met with her, right, and your wife, and we sat and told them that you weren't gonna do it. So don't leave it out there that it's been sitting here for 7 years. We answered you then, right? We answered you then. I know we don't agree,
Yeah.
I know we don't agree on the answer, okay, but we sat with them, we sat with her, we talked it through. Who else? Anyone else? Yes?
Rich Klingerman, 743 Maple Terrace. I have 3 items. 2 of them concern Haddon Avenue. Up on Haddon Avenue between 888 and 900, there's been a set of stones on the street, taking up a parking space, which we really need in Collinswood.
Like PSUG, like when they were cleaning it up and they left it?
They've been there since beginning of July.
Okay.
Okay, we got it.
And they have left all kind of wood on the side and everything else. They didn't clean up right.
Okay,
Okay.
we're on it.
Second, when they put up the building across from the library, there was a bench out there because most of the bus stops in downtown area has benches. It was there for a while, and then when they extended the fence out to the edge of the road, somebody removed the bench. And I think it should go back out there for the simple fact that last week I seen an elderly lady standing there waiting for the bus.
Is it in front of Hartside?
Yeah. this is-
Yes. Bus stop is still there because I got off of it there.
So we
All right, well,
order, that bench has gotta be gone. because
Yeah,
we-
I don't know if the contractor took it or the Borough of Collinswood took it.
Well, if we only take it when it's broken, but we order a few new benches every year, and we'll make that a priority for that block to be looked at. We'll make sure that block, it might not be there, it might be something new that they did there, we'll make sure.
Yeah.
Might not be.
3 months ago, I had mentioned about putting some kind of ordinance into effect that any new building that was going up in the borough of Collinswood should be built so they could put solar panels on it or to help out the environment. I'm wondering if you have thought about that, of putting the solar panels on the new
Yeah.
First aid fire station.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because you told us to, so we're on.
Yeah.
And listen, no, it absolutely is a top priority, everything about it, those environmental changes, and in every.
And not just solar, but the materials we use, better insulation.
But I would like to see it apply to any new building that went up in the borough of Collinswood.
Okay, thanks.
Without me.
Good.
Always keeping us on our toes.
Anyone else? Yes?
Okay, Barbara Thomas, 912 Elbridge. I want to say, you took my thunder, Jim, because I want to say, Collinswood is such a great town. I love this town. I love living here. So many great changes that have happened while I've lived here, much due to this administration. And we cannot always agree on everything. Of course, we don't. It would be very boring if we all agreed on everything. But I also came here 7 years ago, I wasn't as charming as your son, but you guys didn't tell me, no, we're not doing it. You said, we'll look into it. Now, maybe, that's the result of that. But I actually have a question for you. A few months ago, you swore somebody in one of our firefighters, and the words that kept sticking with me were under the authority of the people. And I want to ask you, is that part of your oath as well? Is part of your oath of allegiance? I want to ask you how those words inform your actions and decisions, particularly when something from the people comes to you, when the people bring something to you, and particularly when you personally don't like it, you personally are against it. And I just would like to know if you could answer each, kind of entertain that thought.
Well, so let's finish up all the public comment that we can address. That way we can make a little business statement. Okay? All right. Anyone else? Okay, go ahead, Emily.
Well, for all people 27, I just want to say another thing about dogs and cats as opposed to other animals in town. This neighbor again, years ago, had rabbits in her backyard. And so the rabbits ran wild. They had bunnies, they came through my fence, they came in my yard, she threw straw down, it was crazy. So I called animal control to see what I could do about rabbits, and was told by animal control, they take care of dogs and cats, not rabbits. So I just wonder, I don't think animal control has any purview over anything besides dogs and cats. So it got to a situation where these rabbits were put in cages, and one cage was on top of another, and all the feces from the upper cage was the food of the lower cage. And I actually had to, request that I go to court, because I was concerned about the well-being of the rabbits. So I did. I went to, the town court, and Mr. Doman brought this neighbor in, and she had to cease and desist with these rabbits. And eventually the rabbits dug burrows, and the burrows collapsed and the rabbits died. But nobody could help me as far as animal welfare in regard to these rabbits. So that's all I'm going to say about
Okay,
that.
all right, thanks. Anyone else? Yes?
I'm wondering, within a couple of terms battered around tonight, silent majority has been one of them. Another one was that you said that you're getting lots of responses from people who speak to or who email you. An Oprah request was made for correspondence from May of 2017. It doesn't quite match the numbers of a silent majority. So I'm wondering what numbers matter to you and what voices hold the most weight, because unfortunately you can't share that Oprah just when it was released. Names were not redacted, names and addresses were not redacted. So that was the onus on people who requested to do so. And that also makes us very uncomfortable to have access to those people's information. So what I'm wondering is what percentage pushes you over, and what voices weigh the most?
So we'll address that, and it's really related to Barbara, do we actively charge people? So we'll address it, no, listen.
That's the kind of behavior, this stuff, that makes people say you're combative. That Barbara's acting on those people.
Okay, all right, thank you, thank you.
It is unfair.
Next, anyone else have anything on to say?
But regarding that, Stephen Piamonte, 420 West Brandon Road. If somebody sends you an email talking about it, and not everybody wants to use it as part of public forum. So if somebody were to send one of the commissioners an email and said they don't want their information shared, would that be it?
It could be, I don't know, I can find out, I don't know what happened on the open response, we'll check it sometime.
But I'm just curious, not that I don't mind public, not everybody wants it to be, public, so. I'm just curious.
I understand, I don't know about the open response, I'll find out, I don't do the open response, we'll find out. So, anyone else? Okay, you wanna make any other? statement? You
Yeah, well,
respond?
it's a great question, and, you know, I think it all starts with, knowing that you don't know everything, and you know, to understand, you know, Plato had the allegory of the cave, right? It started with a person looking at shadows, and that's real life, and eventually breaks out of there and sees a little light, and that's real life. Eventually gets out of the cave, and I think everything is about not necessarily what I feel, but what's the process to come to a full understanding. And ultimately, that Venn diagram is what really part of that matrix. How do I make it work? That community, how can I make sure we're doing the right ability to manage it, and then there a net benefit and a public benefit. So it's those three. It's not any one place along there. Something could be in one spot. And, you know, for me, I'd say, yeah, that's ready to go. Something could be right next to it and not. So I guess the last part I'd say is it really does connect. And you gotta, you know, so it's a great question. So.
I don't think
Well,
Bart's question was, is how do you deal with something you don't want, that you might not have, you know, I gotta tell you, I've only been here so long, I haven't heard a lot of things. Sometimes you have to say no because like, we don't have the resources. But then I guess the answer is I don't have those things. Does that help?
Well, I guess the question is,
No,
how
you're-
does the oath inform your decisions and actions?
The oath is always there, but then how do I decide between this person and that person? Ultimately, it's our responsibility. And it sucks sometimes to have people look at you with disdain. It sucks to hear that you're a criminal. And you know what, when people come to me, I'm not saying anyone here, I think everyone here has been very kind, but you know, you hear someone who's just frustrated right now. And people say, how do you do it? It's my job. You just deal with it. You just learn not to take it personally. And you just learn that, you know, that the work we do is important. And you know, that oath is to everyone, and you try to manage it.
So just very briefly, I think that all of us here and all of the interactions that I have with people, the different groups that exist out there, from every different volunteer group of parades to committees to book festivals to farmers markets to just business associations over the years, everybody's working on things that are inclusive, positive, community-oriented, improve the quality of life, safety and well-being of everything, something organized and non-chaotic that helps things to smoothly move along. Is freedom to enjoy, learn, educate, that helps the quality of life for everyone, but that doesn't step on each other's toes in a very tight space sometimes. So this is just like in 2 seconds out of my head with the experiences that I've had here. There's nothing that we do that isn't about the community and making the community a better place and listening to the community. Somebody raising their hand saying, I'd like to have a blah, 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 and we say, that's great, let's talk about it, you can be the head of that committee. It's a little joking that people can do things. It's when there's controversy that takes a long time or may not happen at all. There's some things that are so simple and to be able to do something better, and other things that take a long time to achieve. And I think the interplay between government, schools, businesses, community volunteers has been excellent in Collinswood because everybody seems to just thrive on those goals and try and make things better. So for the people, that's all it is. It's all for the people, by the people. But it can't be if it's not good for all. Some things are difficult, but it's always about everything together. How about that?
And I'll give you my 2 cents is simply this, that I'll give you an example of the brewery company, that I was a get it from the beginning, okay? And we tested it out. I was pretty open with folks when this was first brought up to us. All right, you know, it was a while ago, we talked to him, but when it was first brought up with this group, I told him like I would want it next door to me. And I joked that like if there's an ordinance, I want it written so it wouldn't be next door to me. But we explored to see what the town think about this, just like we did with the brewery. We floated it and floated it out to see what people had to say. Nothing is ever unanimous, okay? But surely with the brewery, the difference in responses that I got from folks about the brewery compared to the backyard hen issue, it's not close, okay? So I'm not saying, I didn't use the word silent majority, I didn't use those words. I said that there's a substantial portion of folks in town that are not in favor of this, okay? And my discussions with folks in the group have been, how do you engage them? How do you take your shot to try to educate them? If that's what you think will change that feeling, okay, and that thought. And that's why we made this room available for that forum, okay? That's why we've have at it, go do that. What I have seen in the last couple of months, as maybe this has gotten a little testier, as people are writing more and more things that are being just a little bit critical of us, of some of us, I have gotten more and more response, I think is evidence tonight. So most people ever come out to speak against this, okay? Because they're reading stuff in the papers and they think that this really might happen. That's why there's a group that's so active. So they're coming out. So educate, let them learn, okay? That's how I respond to it. What's the consensus, especially when it's something new that we're going to do, that I don't have a strong feeling that this would be something really good for town, that we should go do this. And even in those instances where we have that strong feeling that it will be something good for town, we have always gone through a process of a ton of town meetings to try to build that consensus so that people understand what it is we're doing and why we're doing it. It's never unanimous, okay? But we're always able to get to a point where at least we have some comfort level that most everybody's kind of on board, and even those people that don't like the idea, they understand why we're doing it, okay? So that's where I come from. That concludes our meeting for tonight. We will see you in November.